Greetings, maniacs, Americans, and anyone interested in democracy. Today, November 7th, 2023, here in America, we have a referendum election, which just means that we aren't voting on individuals, but we're voting on ballot measures, bills, and non-people related questions. And that just came from the top of my head, so don't go looking that up in the dictionary. I'm a little bummed out, not stressed, bummed out because I just did a video right before this where I was talking to the camera for like 20 minutes, and then I looked down and I realized that none of it had recorded. So now I'm trying to put a tab where I was and rewind and go back and pick up. It may not work. I may just have to come up with new words. So, as a patriot here in America, I am a big advocate of democracy. And democracy means voting. With voting, there is a responsibility. It means that you should be educated, you should be wise and knowledgeable in how and what you vote for. You should think about not just the short-term impact of what that vote does, but also the long term. How is it going to affect your children, your children's children, and your great-great-great-grandchildren? Because the way that the laws work here in America, they build upon each other. When America was founding, we went and used English common law for certain rules where they already had established prosecution and they already had some established principles, and they used those. When they didn't use English common law, they actually used the Bible. So the Bible was their primary go-to. If the Bible had a case where somebody sinned against somebody else, stole, raped, murdered, they would use the Bible and they would see what the Bible said and they would follow along in that. When the Bible didn't talk on certain things, as time went on and they dealt with more and more issues, they then used, these are the founding fathers I'm talking about, they then used the English common law to draw upon. And like what happens if a neighbor runs over another neighbor's dog with their cart and it was intentional and they were drunk and yada yada yada, the specifics. So that's how our legal system here in America works, is it builds upon each other. Nothing can be erased from before. You just have to come up with a new amendment or a new law that supersedes the previous. And that's a beneficial part of democracy. However, I do think there are fundamental aspects of the Constitution itself, that should not be messed with, where it is what it is, and that is what our country at its foundation is. And that shouldn't be something to be upset about or to get bent out of shape or to think that other countries are better than us, because you will not find any other country in the entire world that doesn't have bloodshed on its hands. You won't find a single one. Every single country comes with bloodshed. All of them have had tragic, nefarious pasts. And that's the thing, is we are getting better. We don't go and just barbarically destroy whole villages. Okay, well, we were getting out of that. And that doesn't happen here in America. And if someone comes back from war and their family's village has been burned, they don't go then burn 6 other neighboring villages or the other tribes' villages or the other whatever. Like that doesn't happen. We're getting better. So this rhetoric where things are getting worse, compared to when? Like, we're not getting worse. There are certain waves, there are certain highs and lows, but overall, historically, people are living better, longer, more fulfilled life. Well, I can't say fulfilled because depression, anxiety, those things are detrimental to our society. So we are in a weird time period. But the things that we have to worry about for death, so much lower. So much lower. The worry and the stress. I mean, living in the wild in a jungle and you're living 2,000 years ago, your knowledge compared to the knowledge of people that live in the jungles nowadays, or to us that visit jungles nowadays, coming from modern and contemporary educational backgrounds, then it's astronomical. So we are getting better. We're learning more, and that comes with pitfalls, and it comes with its own worries. And I'm getting a little bit off tangent here, but I just want to point out that democracy is working. We are proving that the American experiment, it's working. Other countries, other places around the globe, they're trying to emulate us. They want to be more like us. There are certain entities, communists, socialist groups out there, they see us as the antithesis because we're democracy. We are freedom. We are capitalistic. You do something, you put your hard work, sweat, blood, and tears into something, and you want to sell it to your neighbors, you deserve to make money from it. And who can come in and tell you that you can't? But there are countries out there where even to sell bracelets just for boosters for your school fundraiser, you would have to ask the country's permission or the city council's permission in order to do that. Not here in America. And that is huge. We have so many freedoms and rights. And if we don't start realizing their freedoms and rights, we are going to lose them. Just as muscles atrophy if you don't use them. So we need to vote. We need to be conscientious in how we vote. We need to be educated. And we need to take a moment and just sit and think and evaluate. How is this law going to impact me now? And how is it going to impact my children's children? Because we do need to have that thought there. And not just about the climate. We need to be thinking, okay, we have electricity. We want to move towards green energy, but are we ready for it yet? Electricity is still generated by fossil fuels. And if you go all electric too soon, you stress out the grid and it can't handle it. So then you have power outages. You have people that don't have access to human staples, electricity. And then if it gets bad enough, running water, if it involves the water districts, hospitals can go down. Like the system can get stressed out. So then what? Only hospitals, only water districts get electricity. The rest of us have to fend for ourselves. So we need to be looking in the moment. We also need to have an eye forward. And so it's a very complicated situation. And this isn't a video to tell you how to vote, but if you have time, go back and look at some of my past videos on the different questions. Question 3 is big on my heart, and I am going to be paying heavy attention to that one. And I hope as the state of Maine, we will vote in such a way that it's the way life should be. I provided a lot of information about that in my previous videos. So just today, on November 7th, make sure that you go out and vote. It is very important. And we just need to show our support for democracy. Vote and show that we the people still have a voice and we still plan on using it. Because we do. Thank you for listening to my rambling go vote, get out and vote speech, because it is very important to me and it should be important to you as a freedom-loving patriot. I look forward to seeing how this all turns out. Until the next video.